Hi, my name is Venus and this is Excuse to Create. So, if you came from the channel presentation video, welcome. In this week's video, I'm going to talk about 3 things that I learned in The Artist's Way. Amazing book called The Artist's Way, El Camino del Artista. I'm Latino, so I read it in Spanish. There's 3 things that, well, there's many more, but the book does this little thing that are like kind of footnotes, but not really. They're just people. Sometimes they're very known people, sometimes they're students, sometimes there's masters of the author, sometimes it's fucking Gandhi, sometimes it's Buddha. I don't know. This is just commentary related to the topic of every chapter, which I find really endearing because it gives you the ability to see whatever the fuck the other is saying in other eyes. I like that. I think most, if not every kind of wellness book and improve your life book and all of that, it's kind of really egocentric, saying that whatever their idea of success is the only way to go about it and to change your life about it. And I just like the fact that the other puts in opinions of people and thoughts of people that are or not related to the topic at hand, and just allows you to digest the information a lot better. I really like it. I really like it. And as you can see, I put many of these markers, and I think most of them, rather than information inside of the book, they're just people talking and saying interesting things. And that where it comes my first thing, that is kind of a run-off topic, but really change the way I see myself and the world around me. So, okay, so as you can see, some of these markers have little markings in the markers to say that they're more important than the others. And if we go to this one, no, it wasn't that one. Yeah, this one. I put in orange highlighter a little quote from Margaret Young. I don't know who this woman is. I haven't looked it up. I really should, kind of, but well, I will read it first in Spanish because I just kind of like the quote, but then I will translate it to English. Okay, this is in the week 5, basically chapters, chapter 5, week 5. It says, muchas veces la gente intenta vivir su vida al revés. Intentan tener más cosas o más dinero para poder hacer más de lo que les gusta, porque así serán más felices. Pero lo cierto es que funciona al revés. Primero tienes que ser quien realmente eres. Después hacer lo que necesitas hacer para poder tener lo que quieres. Okay, it translates roughly to many people try to live their life backwards. They try to have more stuff or more money to be able to do whatever they like so they can be happier. But the truth is, it works the other way around. First, you have to be who you really want to be, who you really are. Then do what you need to do in order to get what you want to get. So, to summarize, the book is saying, well, this random person is saying, in order to have what you want to have in your life, your objectives, your dreams, first you have to be who you want to be and do what you have to do. And yeah, I really resonate with that because most of my life also I went with the same mentality that many people have, that, oh, when I have more money, I can do the things I want to do so I can be happier, so I can be myself. And that's just so fucked up when you think about it. Like, are you expecting me to do all of these things that I don't know exactly, but I kind of get that you need to have money and resources in order to do what makes me happy, to then find myself? That's so bad. That's just so bad. And so what this little quote asks you, and what I'm asking you, because I think this is very important, in order to achieve your dreams, first you have to find yourself and do what you have to do with your life, to then finally, at the end of the matter, have the things you want in your life. Because at that point, after you achieve who you are, and after you achieve like the immediate things you can do in your life, the things just come your way. Like, it's a really organic matter in that sense. And I want to add a little grain of salt of my own in this matter, and I'm going to reiterate in this concept, but with a little bit more information. So, the other day, I came to this realization after having really thought about this. I realized while reading this book that I didn't knew who I am. I think I used to, kind of, when I was younger, but as I grew older, I kind of diluted my personality. I diluted myself. I'm going to show some pictures of myself, and this is me in 2021. Then we have 2024, and I just feel so off looking at that. I just feel so, I don't know, like I kind of camouflaged myself. I kind of adapted myself to the people around me and the expectation put upon me. And that's a big reason because I look the way I look right now. Like, I got myself some piercings and I dyed my hair and my eyebrows. And I got myself another tattoo because I started doing my nails poorly as well. But I started doing my nails again, which is a thing that I haven't done in so long. Like, the last time I did my nails was 2023, like the the midpoint of 2023. It's so long, man. I stopped doing things I liked because I felt that I didn't want to be judged anymore. And that fucking sucks, you know. That's just so bad for me and for my mental. So yeah, find yourself first. And yeah, I know this is obnoxious, so I'm going to put a little bit more effort in this thought. I'm going to say that this has 4 levels, okay? The first iteration is be, do, get. But what I'm adding to the conversation is 4 levels. First is looking back on yourself. It's realizing where are you coming from? What are your roots? What makes you you at a base level? Where did you grow up? What are your interests as a child? What things you stopped doing as you grew older? To me, this meant, for example, thinking about my family and my family problems, and also the goods my family have brought to me. The way I see it is this is step zero. This is not something you should really be thinking about, even though like many people really should. But what I mean about this is that we shouldn't be doubting where we're coming from, even though we do it. When you realize where you come from, then you will realize who you are. That's the way I look at it. It's step zero. Then we have who I am. This is step one. This is all like in the grand schemes of achieving your dreams. Okay. So after knowing where you come from, you can understand better who you are. After understanding who you are, you can understand better who you want to become. And this is really important. Life implies change, life implies some sacrifices. In order to evolve, you have to leave some things behind. You cannot be the same you. You are not the same you were the day prior, not even like a couple of minutes ago. Visualizing who you want to become gets a lot whole easier when you realize who you are. Okay. For example, in my case, I'm a person. I come from a Latin family in Latin America. I'm a journalist. I'm a creative, and I want to become somebody that can live off creativeness. I want to become somebody that can spend their whole life creating and communicating and doing things for the world. Like, I just thought to myself, yeah, as a journalist, I can do a lot to society, but there's many journalists, for example, that work for enterprises and just work for businesses. And are you really adding anything to the world in that sense? I don't know. I mean, you might, but in my way to look at it, the literal most profitable way to be a journalist right now is working for a company. And I don't know, that doesn't really resonate with me. So then we go to step 4 or 3 if you think about where I'm coming from the zero. Okay, it's step 3, okay. And then step 3, it's, well, getting what you want. I wrote where I want to go, but yeah, it's kind of the same. It's just how this visualization of yourself will allow you to achieve your dreams. In my case, being creative will allow me to build a community around me and to find where I want to where I want to be and what I want to do. But wait, I have to add something. So between 1 and 2, from the who I am, who I want to be, there's like a little notch of information that is missing in the prior conceptualization that I explained at the beginning of the video of being, doing, and achieving. Well, when I know who I am, I'm able to visualize who I want to become. And by that visualization, I put myself things to do. Okay, I want to be that guy. What can I do to be that guy? And that's the thing you are going to do. So maybe you could add in between 2 and 3 doing the things, but I think that's kind of redundant. So I just want to clarify, like the action is still implied. It's not only visualization, but it's more towards like a more esoteric goal. So I don't know. I just, it makes more sense as a 0, 1, 2, 3 rather than a 0, 1, 2, 2.53. So yeah. And then, well, yeah, it comes the final one, which basically means after you've done everything right to become what you want to become, you will eventually achieve your objectives in life. It's kind of convoluted. I think I'm going to put a little footnote in the comments to explain it better in words. But like, this is like concept A that the book gave us, and this is concept B that I came up with, and I think that adds a little bit more and makes it easier, at least for me, to understand the beginning of everything, which is from I think where I'm coming from is very important. All right, that was kind of a long one, but okay. The second thing I think is very important, and that's not like a main topic in this book. It's not another like add-on footnote, but it's just a little phrase. It's just a little phrase that the author put in the final week, in the week 12, that again it's a paradox. Like the first one was also a paradox. Like people thinks this, but it's actually the other way around. This is kind of the same in that manner. She says a paradox in creative rehab is getting serious in not taking ourselves seriously. We have to work to learn to play. And what the I think Dallas is saying with this is literally you have to put yourself in the mind, in your little noggin, in this big ass five head, that sometimes it's good to not take things seriously. And especially in this context, when you are playing. This is funny enough, kind of critic in the grind set, in this idea that if you don't work fucking 14 hours a day, you're a goddamn loser. Yeah, it's kind of a critic to that. You are allowed to play. You're allowed to run around. You're allowed to explore different things, different stuff in your life. But we are so hard coded to not only be always productive, but also to try to aspire for perfection every single time. Like everything have to be just right, or life is fucking miserable. And then again, I'm going to add a bit of my own way to look at it to what the author is saying here. So the concept is working in learning how to play again. We as kids used to play a lot and figure out stuff and be creative a lot, but as we grew older, we kind of stopped doing that at some point because we just said to ourselves, I have more important things to do right now. Which, yeah, it's valid, but we really have to learn how to play again, how to, fail also. And this is the thing I wanted to add myself. You have to accept that you're weak. You have to accept the fact that you are not perfect and you will never be. That's completely fine. Because if you don't allow yourself to be perfect, you will never do anything ever, man. Ever. The only way to be perfect is to burn and die. Like that. You had no time to develop anything, and just for millisecond you are perfect. And that's, who cares about that, man? Like, I could go on and on about accepting your own weaknesses. I kind of did in the last video, and I might do another video just about the concept of accepting your weaknesses. Maybe I should actually. But yeah, learning how to be creative and learning how to be curious is also learning how to be vulnerable. Fuck, it's learning how to be vulnerable. What a weird word to say. And I don't know, I think as a species, as a collection of people in this world, we should really learn how to be more vulnerable. We lack that basic empathy to imperfection, to things that are wrong. We want everything to be, very strict and specific. And when they're not, we think that things are going wrong. And that's how fucking dictatorships start. So yeah, I do think that this mindset can help, the problems we're dealing with right now in the world. And in that note, I'm going to just go to the last topic because I think I've been talking about for a bit now. The last thing I wanted to talk, it was in this little marker right here, and it's very simple. It's the shortest one of them all, but I think it's a very good one. It says, non illegitimi te carborundum. Non illegitimi te carborundum. I think I should flip this around, but yeah. And the translation will be, and I mean, the author goes on about, the explanation of this phrase is in week 8, by the way, and she says that this phrase was in many graffitis in prisoner camps during war. Which war she doesn't explain, which is fine, but it translates to "Don't let the bastards get ya." Don't let the bastards win. No dejes que los bastardos puedan contigo. Don't let the bastards get ya. And I don't know, I just really self-explanatory. Don't let them win. Never let them win. Never.